South Korea and his wife to the White House. They are in Washington for a state visit. Let's watch the pomp and pageantry.
We're just taking a look at the president and various other dignitaries welcoming the leaders of South Korea. This is an important meeting, not just because the two are allies, but they're sending a message to threats in the region, including North Korea and China. There has been an increased push to solidify cooperation between friendly nations in the region. And this is sort of reinforcing that, not just to themselves, but also to the world.
And you can see the Secretary of State is there, in addition to other members of the president's administration and his cabinet. Obviously, this is just the first step in what will be a very long day into the evening. We know that there is a state dinner that is being planned, and as our Nancy Cordes pointed out, it's only the second state dinner in President Biden's tenure as the president of the United States, the first one being with Emmanuel Macron of France, celebrating America's oldest ally. So we're going to keep an eye on the president's movements, along with President Yoon's movement and their families. And
looks like the president's heading up to a podium.
The
expectation is that he's going to be speaking. But you're right, Vlad, that just this is an indication of sort of how strong this friendship is and this level of cooperation.
Distinguished guests, the national anthem of the Republic of Korea, followed by the national anthem of the United States.
President. Mr. President, the honor guard is prepared for inspection. President. President, honor guard is prepared for inspection.
All right, you just heard the national anthems of both South Korea and the United States, and there the president is walking off the podium with President Yoon. As we mentioned earlier, we expect the president's remarks a little bit later during this program, and followed by a state dinner this evening. We'll obviously bring you up to date as we watch what is happening here, including when the president makes those remarks. So stick around. You're streaming CBS News.
Hey there, welcome to the Uplift.
I thought she was a groom, and I stepped back and I went, oh, you're the queen. She's gonna be with me every instant that I'm alive.
I just wanted to see if you'd go to Disneyland with me today. I look over at him and he's smiling.
I'm gonna remember that the rest of my life.
They told us when he was gonna be born, he was only gonna live for 30 minutes. It's really a miracle that he's with us today.
The Uplift. Stream now on the free CBS News app.
Morning news matters because it sets the tone for your day, and it's a way of getting you started.
We're going to uplift you. We're going to send you out your way day to day. That first draft of history, it happens right here.
CBS Mornings. An original documentary from CBS reports.
I always tell people that Twitter would not be Twitter without Black Twitter. It's just us being in fellowship with each other.
And there becomes a conversation you don't want to be left out of.
People really started to recognize the power of activism on Twitter.
Based on that one tweet, the hashtag #OscarSoWhite was trending around the world.
If anything has really powered Black Twitter, it's been humor.
If your food ain't right, oh, we're gonna tell you about that too.
We tend to create change, create culture and cool.
That's how movements happen on Black Twitter and go beyond more than that.
Black Twitter, the Twitterverse that changed a generation. Now streaming on the free CBS News app.
You ready?
A generation of kids opens up on CBS Reports.
I just want to be like a regular kid.
Their world, their struggles, their voices.
What if I was white?
A lot of people like to call names and make you feel ashamed for being proud of who you are.
Now streaming Gender.
I did not realize that you could change your gender.
Realizing how you feel.
You can be a boy, sometimes you feel like a girl, sometimes you feel like both.
Redefining who you are.
Identify as trans.
Gender fluid.
Non-binary and queer.
Is the idea of gender a thing of the past?
And to be yourself, always, no matter what anyone says, I love you.
Are the kids all right? Gender. Now streaming on the free CBS News app.
Stories that inform.
Or you can be really old at 60, and you can be really young at 85.
Inspire.
How do we unlock the power within ourselves to be who we want to be?
And brighten your day.
The best part of fame is making people feel good. Always send the people home happy.
Make every day a little more like Sunday morning.
Here comes the sun.
Stream now on the free CBS News app.
We go to stories because we can bring someone to that story. That human connection is incredibly important. The news doesn't have to be depressing.
What do you love about running? Energy! Energy!
It can be uplifting.
All right, let's take you back to the White House where President Biden and the First Lady are welcoming the President of South Korea and his wife to the White House. Let's watch.
concludes the honors. Distinguished guests, the President of the United States.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. What a beautiful day to invite great friends back to the White House. Welcome to the White House. Today we celebrate the ironclad alliance, the shared vision of our future, and the deep friendship that unites the Republic of Korea and the United States. President Yoon, Ms. Kim, you were kind enough to host me in Seoul last year, just 10 days after your inauguration. And Jill and I were honored to be able to return some of your hospitality with your second state visit to this administration.
철통 같은 동맹을 축하하고 우리의 미래를 위해 우리가 공유하는 비전 그리고 우리의 깊은 우정을 통해 대한민국과 미국이 연합해 됨을 경축하고자 합니다. 윤석열 대통령님, 김건희 여사님, 취임하신 지 불과 열흘 후이셨음에도 작년 서울에서 저를 따뜻하게 맞아주신 데 대해 감사드립니다. 저와 제 아내는 이제 그때 받은 환대를 저희 행정부의 제2차 국빈 방문을 통해 일부나마 갚아드릴 수 있게 되어 기쁩니다.
This year marks the 70th anniversary of the alliance between our two nations. It's an unbreakable bond, forged in bravery and the sacrifice of our people, sanctified by the blood of American and Korean troops who fought and defended liberty. And I'm proud we are joined today by veterans of the Korean War.
올해는 우리 두 국가의 동맹 70주년을 맞이하는 해입니다. 이는 우리 국민들의 용기와 희생의 토대 위에 세워진 끊어질 수 없는 관계입니다. 자유를 수호하기 위해 함께 싸운 미군 그리고 한국군 장병의 피로 거룩하게 된 관계인 것입니다. 오늘 특별히 한국전 참전용사 분들께서 이 자리에 함께하고 계신 것에 큰 자부심을 느낍니다.
Those veterans are the reason we can stand here today. Two vibrant and innovative democracies, we stand as strong, proud, and free because of them. And it's so meaningful, Mr. President, to visit the Korean War Veterans Memorial with you last night, to lay a wreath of remembrance, to fulfill a sacred obligation.
예, 이 참전 용사분들은 활발하고 혁신적인 민주주의 국가인 우리 두 나라가 강하고 당당하고 자유롭게 함께 설 수 있는 이유입니다. 윤 대통령님 또한 어제 저녁 대통령님 내외분과 함께 한국전 참전 기념비를 방문하여 기념 헌화하고 우리의 거룩한 의무를 수행한 것은 의미 있는 시간이었습니다.
On September 1, 1950, Corporal Luther Story performed acts of bravery above and beyond all measure, defending his brothers in arms on the Pusan perimeter in the Korean War. The last anyone saw of the corporal, he was wounded, fighting off the hostile assault to protect his company's withdrawal. In 1951, his heroism was recognized with the Medal of Honor, but Corporal Story's body was never accounted for until now. The Republic of Korea and the United States worked together to identify Corporal Story's remains among those buried as a Korean War unknown in the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific. Today, we can return him to his family and to his rest with all the honors he deserves, because we never forget our heroes.
1950년 9월 1일 루서 스토리 상병은 한국정 당시 부산 교두보에서 동료 전우들을 보호하기 위해 모든 수단을 초월해 용기를 발휘했습니다. 스토리 상병을 마지막으로 목격한 사람들의 증언에 따르면 그는 자기 자신 부상당한 채로 퇴각하는 중대를 보호하고자 적군의 공격에 맞서 싸웠습니다. 이듬해 1951년 그의 영웅적인 행동이 인정받아 자유훈장이 추서되었습니다. 하지만 상병의 이후에는 찾지 못했습니다. 바로 최근까지 말이죠. 그러나 대한민국과 미국은 협력을 통해 국립태평양 기념묘지의 한국인 무명용사 유행 가운데 스토리 상병의 유해를 찾아내게 되었고, 오늘 스토리 상병을 그가 마땅히 받아야 할 영예와 함께 그의 가족의 품 그리고 참된 안식으로 되돌려 드릴 수 있게 되었습니다. 이는 우리가 우리의 영웅을 결코 잊지 않았기 때문이었습니다.
Mr. President, over the past 7 decades, our alliance has grown stronger and more capable. And the cooperation between our people, our commitment to one another, has grown deeper across every aspect of our partnership. Today, our economies are in the vanguard of technological development. Our nations are powerhouses of innovation. And our people, united still by our democratic values, are taking on the challenges of the world. We're taking them on together. We're standing strong against Russia's brutal aggression against Ukraine, advancing an Indo-Pacific region that is free and open, building secure and resilient supply chains, and pioneering the clean energy economy, investing together to ensure our future will be grounded in the values that we share, which have always made us strong.
대통령님, 지난 70년 동안 우리의 동맹은 그 힘과 능력이 증가되어 왔습니다. 우리 양 국민들 간의 협력, 서로를 향한 헌신 또한 우리의 파트너십의 모든 측면에 걸쳐 깊어져 왔습니다. 오늘 우리 양국 경제는 기술 발전의 선봉에 서 있습니다. 우리 두 국가는 혁신의 파워하우스, 동력입니다. 우리 국민들은 민주주의적 가치 아래 하나 되어 전 세계의 도전에 함께 대응하고 있습니다. 우리는 우크라이나에 대한 러시아의 잔인한 침공에 함께 맞서고 있으며, 자유롭고 개방된 인태 지역을 위해 일하고 안전하고 회복력 있는 공급망 구축, 청정에너지 경제 선도를 통해 우리가 함께 공유하는 가치, 그리고 과거에도 언제나 우리를 강하게 만들어준 그 가치 위에 우리의 미래 역시 그 기반을 둘 수 있도록 하기 위해 함께 투자하고 있습니다.
Mr. President, ours is a future filled with unimaginable opportunity and endless possibility. Nothing is beyond our ability to reach when our nations and our people stand united. We have proven that time and again over the last 70 years. As our troops say, who still proudly serve together in the ROK to this day, we go together. May we continue that refrain of the Republic of Korea and the United States for all the days ahead. We go together. God bless our nations, and God protect our troops. Thank you.
대통령님, 우리의 미래는 엄청난 기회와.
All right, we've been listening to President Biden welcome South Korea's president. Of course, South Korea's president speaking in Korean, and we didn't have a translation, but we can probably expect. Not sure if he's going to be speaking now.
Looks like he is.
No? Okay. Wasn't sure if perhaps he would be speaking in English. But no doubt, I'm sure they're sort of both expressing their continued cooperation. We talked a little bit earlier, Vlad, about you can tell how important this visit is just based on the crowd that we see there at the White House, that the fact that we're having a state dinner, and this is only the second state dinner. So this is an indication of the strong bond that these two leaders share. Of course, South Korea, an important ally in a region where we see China and North Korea ramping up aggression.
So we're going to keep an eye on the ceremony that is happening right now at the White House, but let's bring you some other news, including this. A Japanese company shot for the moon, but did not quite make it. We're going to talk with our resident space expert about Japan's attempt to land a private spacecraft and why it failed, and what it means for the future attempt to reach the moon. We'll be right back. You're streaming CBS News.
An original documentary from CBS reports. Controversial Congressman George Santos.
Why won't you answer our questions?
How did he manage to get elected?
Thank you very much, and God bless you, and God bless the USA.
George Santos' campaign was a campaign of deceit, lies, fabrication.
And who is he, really?
I knew him as Anthony DeVolder from Queens.
Really, who he is, he's a fraud.
I compare him to the Tinder swindler.
From people who know him, the truth, the facts, the lies.
He would say that he was worth $100 million.
It's an incredibly cynical episode in American politics, beyond satire.
Had you ever seen anything like this?
No, and I hope I never see it again.
Campaign of Deceit, now streaming on the free CBS News app.
She dazzled on the court and off the court as a businesswoman.
Thank you for joining us on Person to Person. Tennis superstar and entrepreneur, Serena Williams.
An original CBS Reports documentary.
I asked my students, what are we going to do about racism in the United States?
The backlash over teaching about racism in American schools.
I don't think it has any place in the classroom.
We can either pretend and say, no, we're not racist and we're all great people, or we can actually start to do the really, really hard work of addressing it.
How did you lose your job?
I made the statement that white privilege is a fact.
Is it helping diversity and inclusion?
When you bring in different people's stories and experience, it enriches education.
If you don't talk about something, it doesn't go away.
Or driving us further apart?
What schools are doing to our children in the name of anti-racism is in fact teaching them racism.
The intention is to put us in this war against each other.
An original CBS Reports documentary, streaming now. An original CBS Reports documentary.
I was entitled to equal pay for equal work under the law.
Does the Supreme Court's power need to be checked?
9 Supreme Court justices, 5 of them said no, she's not entitled. That's not right.
Calls to fix the court tend to go along with the politics of the moment.
Republican-appointed justices have all tended to go in one direction, with the Democratic-appointed justices tending to go in another.
Even though it's only 9 justices, it takes 5 of them to make the law of the land.
Does it have political impact? True. Political intent? Probably not true.
If the American people don't trust the judgment of their court, that's a real problem for our democracy.
An original CBS Reports documentary, streaming now.
On our places, bright shiny faces.
When you wake up in the morning, we want to be your go-to team.
I don't go to work in the morning. I go for coffee with my 2 good friends, and we talk about the world.
Japanese company iSpace missed its shot to become the first